See that back behind me? I'm in Ontario. There's more to discover, apparently. I'm just happy to be home. It's been quite a ride from British Columbia through Alberta, Saskatchewan, even Manitoba. Manitoba was just a couple days, but it kicked my rear end. But finally, I'm back home in Ontario, and it's going to take me, I think, 2 weeks before I get to the other side of Ontario and start biking through Quebec. So plenty of time to be back home and get over all that yearning for Ontario and get to the point where I'm ready to be done with it and with my French friends in Quebec. For your Ride4Rufiji, moment number 17, I believe it is. We're in Matthew chapter 7, where Jesus says, he's speaking of logs and specks. Logs and specks. He says, before you go and you see a speck in your brother's eye and you want to remove it, but before you go doing that, you should remove the log in your own eye. And a lot of people like to camp in this verse, and it's a good verse because it basically says before you go and address the sin in somebody else's life, maybe you should look within, look to the sin in your own life. But it goes on, and this is something that not as many people address is what Jesus says after this. He says, because the reason that you want to remove the log from your own eye is so that you can clearly remove the speck from your brother's eye. It seems to me that even though it's essential to search within and to remove any sin, to address any sin in your own life, it's an act of obedience to address the sin in your brother's eye. The same way when Jesus will say later on, he'll say, before you bring an offering to me, before you come and bring an offering, if you have a quarrel, if you have a fight, if there's something between you and your brother, first go and remedy that. First go and fix what's between you and your brother, and then come and bring this offering. The offering is still, the fixing things with your brother is essential, but the offering is obedience. And in the same way, removing the log from your own eye, essential. But addressing the speck in your brother's eye, well, that's loving your neighbor as yourself. And that's what Jesus goes on to say in Matthew chapter 7, that treat others as you would have them treat you. Between those two things, between the logs and the specks and the loving your neighbor as yourself, treating others as you'd have them treat you, he talks about giving gifts. He says, which one of you, if your son asks for a present, you give him a snake, or if he asks for a piece of bread, you give him a stone. And so you, even though you are evil, even though you are human beings and evil, which a bit of a tangent, but I think that kind of rules out that men are inherently good. I think there's a man-centric theology that would have us believe that we're essentially good, that men are good, and sin, hatred, these are all just conditional. These are all just environmental. That people are basically good. But for any of you that have ever had a toddler, as Sarah and I do right now, I think you know that people are not inherently good. I love Lukumai with all my heart, but he is bad sometimes. So from experience and from the Word, men are not inherently good. We are all sinful and short of the glory of God. So Jesus says, even though you're evil, and yet you know how to give good gifts to your children, think how much more your Heavenly Father will give good gifts to His children, being a good God. And I think right now it's a good time for reflection, to think of all the good things that God has blessed us with. Take some time right now. I'm going to take some time right now. I still have about 40 kilometers left to go before I get to Kenora. This is my tough week. This was supposed to be my easy day, but it was not easy. I was biking into a headwind all day. Lord willing, tomorrow will be better because I have 240 kilometers to bike tomorrow. and the following day 240 kilometers to make it to Thunder Bay. All to say, I have plenty of time to reflect and to think on all the good things that God has blessed me with, and they are so many. Beginning with my wife and my child Luke and God has been so good to me. So take some time right now, you people in Ontario and you people across Canada, the ones that we've already met between here and BC and the ones that we're going to meet between here and St. John's, Newfoundland. Take some time and think on the good things that our good Father has gifted you with. God bless you, and this has been your Ride for Rufiji moment number 17.